body. Hey.
Let's get 'em, girls. Legs
And hips and body. Hey.
let's get 'em.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Q, the content guy, and we're back with another review of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think this is episode 4. All right, let's go and get this thing started. So the show starts off with Marlo. She is building a new house out in, I think, Decatur, if I'm not mistaken. So she's talking with her contractor, Sheree, and Kenya pull up because they have both built homes, Chateau Sheree and Moore Manor, and they have turned out to be gorgeous. And Kenya, Marlo pretty much wants some advice from them. She more so wants the success stories rather than the failures, which I think you should learn from the failures, not the successes, because their successes are going to be different from yours on how they built their house. So, but anyway, Marlo was getting the house built, so kudos to Marlo. I ain't mad at you, sis. Spend that coin wisely. The layout, like she has like her own floor. Her closets are bigger than her bedrooms. Marlo said, "Child, I just need a bed to sleep in." So I thought that was funny. I thought this whole little scene was funny. And then they switch the topic and they start talking about. Marlo said, no, Sheree says, "You're a buckhead girl." And then Marlo says, "My money can't afford buckhead," or something like that. And because, y'all always talking about money. And Kenya's like, "No, you bring up your money. You always bring it up." And Marlo's like, "You full of shit, Kenya." And Kenya like, "No, you brought it up. You brought your money up." So, that's that. I just noticed I don't have no music playing. I don't have no hips and body, hips and body. All right, there we go. So quiet. So then they start talking about New York because they're all the couples and ladies and everything are going to New York for Candy's play. So they start talking about New York and they're like, Kenya, Sheree's like, "Kenya, are you going to see Marlo? Oh, excuse me, are you going to see Mark while you're in New York?" And she pretty much is like, no, she doesn't think that's going to happen. And Kenya asks, will Sheree see Tyrone? And she said, yes, that's the plan. And he's on house arrest, but he can't travel. Excuse me, he's on house arrest, but he can't travel more than 100 miles. And New York is, and he lives in New Jersey, so New York is 100 miles, within his thing. It's my okay. It's like my headphones weren't working. So, Kandi and Todd are out walking around. They're talking about things going on, and excuse me. And Kandi starts letting us know about the play and how she's trying to get the play out of the red. So her being on board is really just to get people in the seats for the play. She starts talking about the place that's back in New Jersey that he had with his ex 20 plus million years ago, and Kandi feels still some type of way about it. I'm like, Kandi, girl, shut up. Let that man keep that place and let him go and fix that thing up and switch it up and get some income. It ain't that big of a deal. It's 20 years ago. You wouldn't even think about Todd 20 years ago. So, matter of fact, you were still trying to get it 20 years ago. I think Escape was over with. So, child, you wouldn't worry about no damn Todd. That probably would have helped your ass out 20 years ago when you was trying to make ends meet. Anyway, up next is what do I call her? DBD, Ditzy Bitch Drew, and Red Flag Ralph. So Drew and Red Flag Ralph, child, why they didn't show the fourth assistant. I'm like, girl. Anyway, they show Anthony a little bit, but he on probation, so when he saw the camera, he ran back in the other room. And the producers asked her, how's probation going? And she's like, my husband works for a Fortune 500 company in technology, and there's just ways you have to go about this, and you just can't fire him because there's ways you can start off with probation, and then then you can figure out what you're going to do. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. So They're getting ready for their marriage counseling session with Dr. Ken, the same Dr. Ken that was with the girls back in the day when Nene got up and walked out. The same Dr. Ken. Seems like he's the only therapist in Atlanta. So they automatically started talking about the dinner, and Ralph's whole thing was like, I was trying to make her feel like a queen, and red flag. Ralph feels like Drew doesn't respect him, doesn't appreciate him, and feels like everything's a problem. And he said he was trying to give her steak and lobster. Oh, but baby, she deserves a Lunchable. Child, I was like, this. Let me just finish with the review. Let me just finish with this section, then I'll get on them in a second. So, in the midst of all that, they're doing back and forth, they're arguing, blah blah blah. So the doctor, so then she brings up the fact that Dr. Ken called you, what was maniac, I think, and Dr. Ken pretty much is like, look, when I'm not around, y'all need to work on y'all marriage, stay on y'all marriage. When y'all need to talk about y'all, don't talk about Dr. Ken when Dr. Ken ain't around. So basically, keep Dr. Ken's name out your mouth and fix what y'all got going on, because I don't have time for it. I was like, well, all right, Kim Fields. So he pretty much just gives them a challenge that for the next 30 days they can't argue, they can't fuss, they can't fight, they can't what else did he say? They can't be disrespectful to each other, they can't insult each other, and whoever doesn't, work it out or whatever, they have to be the other person, do whatever the other person says for 24 hours. And I was like, child, Dr. King, this shit fake. That's why you came up with this dumbass challenge, child, because you knew this shit ain't fucking real either. I can't stand DBD and I can't stand Red Flag Ralph. RFR. I can't stand either one of them. And to me, this is a mess and they don't need to be on the show. So, Kandi, being Kandi, has two sex goddesses walking up to everybody's house, child. Honey, mama was thick and daddy was fine. So, they walked up to everybody's house. They walked up to Drew, Sanya, and Kenya's house to give them some vibrating panties, all to go to New York. Now, if y'all was going out of the country, then I was like, oh, okay, cool, it's cute. But girl, y'all just going to New York. Like, Kandi, you be doing the most. They all arrived. So Kandi arranged for them to get a sprinter so everybody can arrive at the airport at the same time, so nobody can miss their flight. The couples arrive one by one like they always do. Kenya feels some type of way. She's like, why didn't she tell me this was for couples? But she did tell you, so stop trying to make a big deal out of it, because she was like, you can bring whoever you want to bring. So Kenya, cut it out. They get to New York and they're upstairs eating, and Kandi and Todd is like, we're going to play a little game. Whoever tells us the best sex story will get the suite. So I forgot who started off. Oh, Sanya started off, and she's like, her and Aaron Ross, they had sex on the plane on the way to Dubai. And she's like, oh, we part of the Mile High Club. And then here go Drew in her confession talking about she ain't never had sex outside her house. Girl, how you know? How you know, dummy? Then Marlo was next, child. Marlo's story was so funny. Marlo was like, I had sex at a zoo and we were doing it and the giraffe licked my face. Child, it was so funny. She's like, shit, y'all think I'm a freak? I wanted to make something up. Use your imagination. Sheree was like, she had sex out in the open, down at the Ritz-Carlton, out, by the pool. Everybody could see them. Drew and Ralph had sex by a well. And so I was like, child, y'all lying. Shut up. Kenya made up a story about, coyotes and being in the woods and stuff like that. It was a fun little session. It was a fun scene. It was a fun little game. And Kenya won the prize because she made everybody use their imagination. So I thought it was fun. So I like that little scene. So they're back getting ready for the night. And Sanya is talking to her husband about, she hopes the energy stays up. And she brings up Drew and Sheree's situation and how she really doesn't understand why Drew is acting the way she's acting towards Sheree. She's saying that Drew is hanging out with messy people, which makes her think that Drew is messy. So she's keeping her eye on Drew. And I don't blame her because she's messy. She got 4 assistants. I don't know why. Ain't like she got this ain't like she Angela Bassett and she down there on the set of 911. Then she over there doing this with Tina. Then she over there doing this and she doing that. You know what I'm saying? She not Rihanna. You know, she not even Kandi. So you got 4 assistants. Sis, wow, you just wasting money. And them assistants probably her cousins or somebody, child. She like, oh come on, y'all, come get on the TV with us, sissies. We need something to talk about, and we got a whole bunch of money. Anyway, child, y'all know I can't stand Red Flag and DVD. So speaking of DVD and Red Flag, they're talking about the tea party from last week at Brooklyn's party, and she's like, Sheree was being really mean, and she doesn't understand why somebody would talk about why Sheree and her husband was talking about her friend. Excuse me, why Sheree and her friend was talking about her husband. And I'm thinking to myself, you still missed the whole point. The whole point of the matter is Sheree was not talking about your husband, and neither was Sheree's friend. Your assistant was the one going around town talking about your husband, and you don't get it. You wouldn't have a problem with Sheree so bad. And like they said early in the episode, you deflect. And all that energy that you got for everybody else, you need to have with your damn husband. Dizzy ass. Oh, I can't stand that girl. So Ralph was pretty much like, it's foolishness and just watch her because she'll show you who she is. You shut up, Red Flag, because we know who you are. Anyway, they're on the way to Todd's restaurant, and Kandi says she has a problem when he goes out sometimes, and the rest of the ladies start getting on him. And child, when the conversation first started, though, baby, Marlo was knocked out. She started off one way, then she leaned over. She was laying on Kenya. Baby, then she was leaning, she had her mouth open. I said, Marlo is over this conversation. See, she is tired and she'll give a fuck what y'all talking about. That shit was so funny to me. So they pretty much start getting on Kandi about how Kandi always wanted, to be her way. And Kenya's like, Kandi's been famous half her life, and everything really can't always be about her. And, Sheree was like, honey, the streets talk. The streets talk. They do some flashbacks. And then they even talk about, like, Marla was like, when Todd shit blow up, it's gonna blow up, but it ain't gonna blow up without Kandi's money. I said, child, Marlo earning that peach, honey. So they arrived to Todd's condo, and this is actually a very nice condo. Like if you go ahead and remodel that condo, it's gonna be, the view is beautiful. And like Kenya said, you get rid of you get brand new windows, get brand new doors, add a fireplace, open this kitchen up and do this and do that. It's going to be a really, really nice place. So I liked it, and I don't see what the problem was. It's a 1-bedroom, and it's a condo. It's an investment piece. And I get, Candy's like, I just want to go to New York and mess at the hotel and leave. But at the same time, that was nice. So like, rent it out to somebody, remodel the thing and rent that thing out. Yeah, it was nice. And I think at the end he was like, babe, like, what do you think? This is a gym. And she's like, go ahead, just do it, or something like that. And as they were walking out, I'm like, girl, you really ain't had nothing to stand on. You really ain't had no reason not to like that condo. And like I told y'all before, Kandi, Todd, yeah, it's about time for y'all to get ready to go ahead and wrap it on up, because we've seen everything that we can see for y'all. Anyway, so they arrive at dinner, and while at dinner, Sanya asks Kandi and Drew why they aren't wearing their rings. Kandi said, something about she just forgets it or whatever. And it's funny because if Todd wasn't wearing his ring, you and your mama will be all over him. So, Drew says she's not wearing her ring because when she got pregnant, it couldn't fit. Then when she was losing weight, it didn't fit. And then they were having marital problems and the ring didn't fit. The ring didn't mean a thing. The ring, let me see if I can find that. Hold on, y'all. The ring didn't mean a thing. The ring didn't mean a thing. That's what they should have played. When they were talking about the rings, that's what they should have played. The ring didn't. Let me see if I can find this. I ain't gonna play the whole thing because I know I'm gonna get flagged for it. I don't even know if that's really. I don't think she ever finished it. Damn. But I think it's messed up that they're not wearing their rings. I think that is a problem. I am not married. However, I think that there's no reason why they can't be wearing their rings. It's no reason. Here it is. Are they gonna let me hear it? I just want to hear her sing.
Small can be surprisingly powerful.
I just want to hear that. I just want to hear her sing that one part. But I don't think that's gonna be the part. But here it is. Hey. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Woo. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, where we at? So Red Flag says he fired the assistant, and Kenya asks Drew what's wrong, and they're pretty much telling them, it takes time to get over this kind of stuff, and this, and a change in the behavior. The other couples are chiming in on the relationship and the assistant, and him not understanding why she feels the way she feels, and Kenya was really sticking up for Drew, pretty much saying, like, you don't get it, like you think it's a joke and this and that, and I think. Well, not I think Kenya pretty much is like, reminds me of Mark. It reminds me of how Mark used to talk to me. And you can tell that it struck a nerve with Kenya because Kenya was like going off. Like she was checking Red Flag. Like she was getting his ass together, but he don't give a fuck. So he don't give a fuck what she got to say. He damn sure don't give a fuck what Drew got to say. So, he's like, well, what if I just went down there, and like I grabbed her ass or nothing like that. And it's just, stupid shit. And Marla was like, it's not all about Drew. I mean, it's not all about a Red Flag because, Drew, you allow him to talk to you that way. And you allow him to do what he want to do. And she's like, you're right. I'm like, girl, shut up. Drew's so stupid. And Kenya pretty much is like, you're wrong. You don't know how to talk to her. You're disrespectful. He's an asshole. And it just reminded her of Mark a lot. And Mark was an asshole, and Drew's and Red Flag is an asshole. They be the best of friends. They be brothers some damn where. And she's like, Drew doesn't let things go, and Drew's like, what are you talking about? And Kenya was like, your issue you had with Sheree, and Sheree was like, and Drew was like, you're upset. I don't like when people talk about my husband. And Kandi was like, but Sheree wasn't doing it. It was your assistant that was doing it. Your assistant was talking about your husband. And Sheree pulled out the phone and was like, this is what he said, my husband and this and that, talking about Ralph. And Ralph was like, who are you talking about? And it was like, Anthony's going around saying that you're gay. And Ralph was like, who? They was like, you. And Ditzy sitting there with a stupid look on her face like, what? And I'm like, girl, that's right. You like I said earlier, you want to have a problem with Sheree so bad, but you're not realizing the one that's sitting in your house is the same one running around town saying your man is gay. Now, you know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing. All I'm gonna say is, whoa, 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 whoa. The rain didn't mean a thing. The episode goes off, and that was their first trip, and it seems to be going okay. And then next week we'll be getting into some more drama. But it was interesting. It was an interesting episode, and I'm over it. Like I told y'all, from pretty much day one. I'm over Drew. I'm over Red Flag Ralph. And this storyline, and then now she mad at everybody except for the assistant. His ass really ain't on probation. You probably just ain't telling him nothing right now, but he'll be back in your life. Unless you fire him, he'll be back around. And he's going around saying that your husband is gay in the streets. For me, I don't understand how you don't realize that. And you mad at everybody. And then you keep saying, who? And then Ralph is laughing like, man, whatever. And I'm like, honey, the streets talking. They talking about y'all and y'all raggedy ass relationship. In the words of Kim Zolciak, the ring didn't mean a thing. Whoa. That was my review. I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.